I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I'm not going to go into giving bio on this other than I was kidnapped in 41 at age 2 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and my identity stolen, given the name of a twin. I was stolen from Buckingham Palace. My father's Edward VIII, and he never married Wallace Simpson. An impostor did. My father was always married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe from Madison, Wisconsin, sister to Georgia O'Keefe. It was a character assassination done by the people in the United States, which is the Kennedys. JFK helped in my kidnapping. His father was appointed ambassador by Roosevelt, 36 till 46 when they kicked him out. So the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers that control your media, and they really do control it, helped in my kidnapping. Now, when I started researching, I found out about my kidnapping in 83 when I was in a political campaign and flown out to Mr. Flint's because he'd been shot of Hustler magazine. He'd been shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia when I was doing a book in 78, and I was living at Moonraker Apartments, not far from Gwinnett County where Mr. Flint was shot. It was about mind control. It was medical malpractice, but it included mind control and murders using mind control. It goes back to the Tesla file where you can cure or you can create an illness. But what I wanted to focus on was, I've been telling about this. The problem is they're not going to tell it because it would just about have to come back to me, and you can call me every name in the book you want to. And no, I'm not on any pills, and I shouldn't be on any pills, and no, I am sane as they come. I have been through hell that you don't even, any of you, could withstand. Believe me, and I know that'll make some more of you mad because you didn't want to hear the truth. All you had to do was tell the truth. The media, the people, everything. Mind control and programming was done by MK Ultra way back. The Tesla files, hypnosis, and the Tesla files, you could program people and cure illnesses, and it doesn't. Gun control is almost ridiculous. That's the whole point. In part of it's the whole point of this whole mess. These murders I told about were done in patterns because mind control is hard to prove. You can't see it. So these were done in patterns. And I had a letter from the FBI in 79, June the 23rd, which was my dad's birthday, by the way. But it was in 79, ongoing investigation, national security involved by U.S. Attorney William Harper. So instead of me, at least I didn't see it being protected. I was almost killed April Fool Day of 80 there in an Atlanta hospital when I had been given antifreeze, and I went there. I didn't know what it was. I knew I was dying or I was in hell. I went to West Paces Ferry for a tox screen. It was never done, and I wish the world could see. Dr. Chilton was there. He wasn't even on the staff or supposed to be there. Dr. Beecham, Paul Beecham, and Lina Dempsey, the mother of the twins. She had murdered them. The family covered it up, and I had been dropped off there, and they gave me Peggy's name. So on Easter, that was April the 1st, and on the 5th, I was illegally taken across the state line, and on Easter, the nightmare began again. Finally, after all those days, on the next Wednesday, which was 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th of April, the tox screen that I had originally gone to West Paces Ferry was done, and it showed the antifreeze in it, a level that I should have died. Now then, here's the odd thing. It should have been done and sent, it was done finally in Alabama when the doctor thought it was gone out of my system and I was just left in the condition I was in. But it showed high amounts. And guess where the lab results came from? The Atlanta Georgia Bureau of Investigation in Atlanta. Now, one of their girls had typed my book for me, my manuscript, when I was trying to get it published and everything. She actually typed, and she told me to call her if I wanted to find out how it was going, and I called her, and the crime lab answered the phone and put me through to her. So anyway, I gave you that information. I have not lied about one thing. I couldn't tell the hell I've gone through in telling all this. Larry Flint was shot. It was done in patterns. You've got the Virginia Tech, after I came here in '86, you had the Virginia Tech shooting, and the one student that did the shooting, while he was programmed to, he turns around and commits suicide. You can go back, and this goes way back, not just when I was doing the book. It goes way back before then, using mind control. The Aurora, Colorado, though, of late, James Holmes, this young man is not mentally ill. Mental illness has nothing to do with mind control. And when you give someone psychotic drugs who's not mentally ill, there's no, you can't punish someone when they deliberately do it. And I'm going to ask you where your psychiatrists stand on this. They have not come forth and told the truth. So, the point I'm making on this one is, prior to the West Paces Ferry, about 2 weeks before, in 1st of March of '80, I had gone out to Laura Childers Klein. She's sister to my ex-husband. And she was going to help me get a job if she could, let me stay 2 weeks out there. We didn't like each other, so anyway, my ex-husband had arranged it. So I called her before I left. I got to Mesquite, Texas, Dallas, but I was in Mesquite. It's a suburb. And just as it's like turning me around, and all this is over, and God, I hope it is. I hope it's over for the best, and I get to see my children again, and the people that helped me and did the right thing, I can somehow repay them. But I remember that the shooter here in Las Vegas lived in Mesquite, Nevada. Now then, the people in the campaign that helped Larry Flint in my campaign in '83, when one of the doctors I wrote about, Larry McDonald, went down on the KL that was shot down, it veered into Russian airspace. Well, that's another thing. It's brought in all this security, the so-called bombing. People have been programmed. They can do it with bombs. They can drive a car into the ocean and die, or a knife, like O.J. Simpson was supposed to have killed. He was programmed too. By the way, he was let out during the week that this happened at Vegas. So I don't get lost in someone accusing me of wandering around. Maybe you should walk in my shoes and try to put this together if you think you can, so people can comprehend it, because they don't want to. The media all knows it. They've known it, and it will not be told unless, let's put it this way, Vanity Fair magazine or any of these or any of your media is not going to tell it. It would take something else, but I'm going to stop here. I turned around and went back. I called Laura in Mesquite, Texas, and told her I was there and I was on my way to Abilene. She told me, suddenly, you're not welcome. I went back to Atlanta. My apartment was gone. My ex-husband had been allowed to move my furniture, take over my lease, and I went to a friend's house. I thought she was a friend. I didn't have a key anymore. This was totally illegal. All of it has been. I went to her house, and that's where the antifreeze came in. She worked for doctors, and you had Mr. Flint later endorse me, April, and I put this up on YouTube and Facebook. He endorsed me April 4th issue of 84, I believe. And he says in there that I know who was responsible for his shooting in Lawrenceville, Georgia. So this, when I was in the campaign and flown out there in 83 to Flint's, is when the KAL was shot down. Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, was supposed to be aboard. Now then, here's the thing, the pilot was programmed. That's what you can do with it. All this security and all this taking your guns can't show up on a security check if you've been programmed. The pilot, it wouldn't have showed up on him. How are you going to show it? He veered into Russian airspace where he's going to be shot down, and the plane went down. Nixon was taken off in Juneau just before the plane took off. So they knew it was going on. He was on the flight. So now I'm going to get to this. Whether it plays out, I don't know. I sure wish it would. I'd like to have a life where I wasn't beaten and everything vile in the book done to me. I hope my children are alive. That's what's kept me alive. So when you've got the Tucson, Arizona, Gabby Gifford, and she's a congresswoman, or was, she was shot in one of the program shootings. And if she doesn't know what's going on, they do. Believe me, it's because Congress all has known about me and my kidnapping and the takedown of my father in Great Britain way back, and their involvement in it. And they're not going to tell it. That's exactly it. So now, here's what I want to say. I put this up yesterday. The brother's name's Eric Paddock, and the Illuminati kidnapped me, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and right after my kidnapping and the takedown of my dad, in about 43 to 46 is when your United Nations came into be. They started out as hostages, the countries, because they were related to me, Norway, Denmark. I'm Victoria II, and I am heir to the British crown, legal heir. Elizabeth and her father were installed. That's my uncle, I'm ashamed to say, and he's illegal. They were installed because they went along with the Illuminati. My father refused, and you see what happened to him and me into Great Britain. But I'm the Eric, I want to get back to that, Paddock. I mean, you can tune it out if you want to, and it may be this mass cover-up April Fool joke of all time. Paddock would be where you keep horses. Trumpet is Trump, so you get the revelations if you believe in revelations. And I believe that there's a God, but I was never that biblical, okay? So mine came about because the New World Order is in control now. And they chipped from way back. They put chips in heart bypasses, but way back they put them in root canals. They still do. And they didn't bother to tell you, so everybody's going around just as happy as a lark here in the United States. And the UN is your global government. Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Kennedys run it. So I guess that's what I was going to say here, other than the statements they're making today, and I put this up yesterday on YouTube, about the brother, Eric Paddock, in Florida, making the statement when they had bombarded him, where his brother had supposedly done all this. He's programmed, his brother is, Stephen. He's his innocent victim himself, and everybody calling him names. He didn't choose to be programmed, and he didn't know he was programmed, and he couldn't have done anything about it, although you'd love to think so. Anyway, the brother said, this is puppetry. You would think an asteroid hit us. Okay, I'm going to leave you open on that one. You can do your own research. All right, now then, today they're saying that the girlfriend came back of Stephen Paddock's, and she's saying that he might have had medical issues. He was crying out in the night, "Oh God, oh God." Now, I don't, this can be total programming by the agency doing this, but then ultimately you've got a supreme power in control. So you can take it for or leave it. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I know, and and it can be proven. You have to get it before a court of law. And your war tribunal is controlled by the United States, the Rockefellers, the Illuminati, and Henry Kissinger. Okay? They're not going to tell it.